Y'all planning for this?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Reading Time with Jarvis. Normally in this episode, I highlight other books and resources that I have read that have made an impact on my practice. But today I want to highlight for you my own book, Deliver Massive Value. And actually what I want to do is play for you a snippet or two from my audiobook, the sections that have had the biggest impact on my practice. Now, obviously, they've all had an impact on my practice, or they would not have made it to the audiobook. But I wanted to give you a taste of the audiobook so that hopefully, and most importantly, you can take these lessons that have had such an impact on my practice and implement them in your own practice. Because as always, it is only the things that you implement, only the action you take that counts. Enjoy.
Chapter 4, Raise Your Fees and Charge What You're Worth. Second only to implementing client surge meetings, charging the right level of fees is essential to your practice's success. I know you're likely already nervous about this idea, so before we talk about raising fees, let's get really clear on fees in general. Clients are willingly paying your fee because they feel it is worth the value you provide. In fact, I tell every prospect and remind every client that it only makes sense to work with our office or any professional if the value we provide is worth some multiple of the fee being charged. Every quarter, there will be a line item on your statement that says advisor fee and a dollar amount. You and I will both look at that number and decide if the value we provided is worth the fee. If yes, we will continue another quarter. If no, then we need to have a serious discussion and possibly part ways as friends. Is that okay with you? Sometimes advisors balk at this script, claiming it draws too much attention to your fees and sets the stage for a client to leave. Newsflash. Clients already know your fees because every other article and blog post they read tells them to stop paying an advisor, and they're already going to leave as soon as they think you're not worth the money. By drawing attention to your fees, you are taking the high road and giving clients permission to do what they already were able to do. And by addressing the elephant in the room, you're clearing the way for the real discussion at hand. Trash the head trash. Of course, raising fees is easier said than done. Telling your existing clients, who agreed to one set of numbers and likely won't be excited about the new one, is a difficult thing to do, or to ask your team to do. This is, of course, only the beginning of the head trash that most advisors experience when even considering raising fees. Other variations of head trash include, what about fee compression? A total myth. What about robo-advisors? Not your competition. What about flat fee advisors? They won't survive and they can't deliver massive value. What about Jeff Bezos launching Amazon Prime Financial Advisor that will not only crush our entire industry, but will also force each of us to have an Amazon Echo implanted in our brain? Sorry, I really can't help you with that one. Here's the deal. At the end of the day, all of your fears and objections to raising your fees are really some version of, if I raise my fees, all of my clients will fire me, my family will leave me, my friends will hate me, and I will be left holding "will plan for food" sign in front of my kid's school where all the world will know I'm a failure. How do I know that that's your core fear? Because it's my fear too. When I did my first round of massive fee increases years ago, it was a relatively easy decision. If we didn't raise fees, we were going to go out of business. So it was fear of failure behind door number 1, and guaranteed fear of failure behind door number 2. Even with the threat of bankruptcy, I was still terrified each time I told a client they would have to pay a higher AUM fee or start paying one at all. To my surprise, almost everyone said yes, which finally gave us enough cash flow and confidence to focus more time and energy on delivering massive value. I have to confess, however, that no matter how successful you become, this fear never really goes away. At least it hasn't for me. It took me months of coaching to get over my head trash around this fee increase, plus some serious accountability pressure to straighten me out, only to have my team nearly mutiny over the idea before getting on board. Turns out they have similar head trash. Let's take just a minute to tackle these fears, and then we'll jump into the logistics of how to successfully raise your fees and by how much. Instead, I want to recommend exercises for trashing the head trash that stands in the way of your business success. Number 1, Tim Ferriss's fear setting. Though I've never met Tim Ferriss, his work, starting with the 4-hour work week, has transformed my life. Perhaps his most valuable technique is an exercise called fear setting. Tim explains it much better than I could, so go to Google and search for Tim Ferriss fear setting and enjoy the video. Number 2, run the numbers. Make a list right now of the clients whose fees you want or need to raise. Calculate how much more revenue you would have if they all said yes. With that number in hand, figure out how many clients would have to fire you to still break even on cash flow due to the new fee schedule on the remaining clients. Even if you only break even between the new fee schedule and the number of clients who fire you, you now have fewer clients to serve for the same income, thereby giving you more time to deliver value to your current and future clients. Number 3, get help. Still stuck? Go back to Chapter 1 and review how to find advice on who you can trust, then find an advisor who has successfully done this and get their help. You can tell yourself, hey, if Jarvis or some other rockstar advisor can do it, so can I. I can't tell you the number of times I've repeated this mantra, even to this day. Number 4, shame yourself into raising fees. When head trash tells you it's not fair to raise fees, respond with, no problem. I'll just tell my family we can't travel the world because I was too afraid to raise fees. Or how about this? No problem. I'll just tell all my top clients that their high fees are subsidizing my fear of raising fees on small clients. Or even, I'll leave instructions in my will that my tombstone say, sure, he died of a heart attack caused by the stress of not having a good income, but at least he never raised his fees. You get the idea. Whatever you have to tell yourself to motivate this action, now is the time. Do whatever it takes. Your family and eternal reputation are at stake. Number 5, find an accountability partner. It wasn't until I set up some insane accountability with my good friend Micah that I was finally able to conquer my fears and raise my prices. How insane was this accountability with Micah, you asked? It involved giving Micah the following letter addressed to my 10 best clients to be mailed if I didn't raise my fees by the time I said I would. Dear best client, this letter serves as my resignation from your account. I have discovered that I have not been serving you as well as you deserve, and that you would be much better served working with perhaps the world's greatest financial advisor, Micah Shalansky. I have transferred all my personal investments to his management, and I strongly recommend you do the same. What do you think? Would you still avoid raising your fees if it meant losing your best clients and a giant bet to your best friend? How to set your fees. Copy success. You can, and many advisors do, spend a lifetime trying to figure out the perfect fee schedule, but it doesn't exist. And while you're sitting on top of the mountain looking for divine inspiration on the perfect fee schedule, your clients and prospects will gladly pay an imperfect fee to another advisor. Not to belabor this point, but the time you are spending figuring out a fee schedule is delivering no value to anyone. Not your clients, not your prospects, not your family, nobody. The quickest, easiest, and arguably best way to set your fee schedule is to simply copy someone else. As we discussed in Chapter 1, copy only those people whose proven success is as good or better than yours. How? Just ask them or pull their ADV, or really, just ask someone you admire for a copy of their fee schedule. What's my fee schedule, you ask? Here it is, as of the time this book went to print. Households whose investable assets with our firm fall under $1 million pay 1.5% annually. And households whose investable assets with our firm are over $1 million pay 1% annually. But Matthew, I can hear you scream. With this fee schedule, a client with $900,000 pays around $13,500 annually, and a client with $1.1 million pays around $11,000 annually. That is correct. I'll admit my fee model is flawed, so why do I use it? That's easy to explain. It's easy for clients to understand, and I'd much rather spend my energy finding new ways to deliver massive value and bring on new clients than spend it sitting on a mountain trying to figure out a better fee schedule. If you can clear through your own personal head trash and convince yourself, hey, if Matthew can charge 1.5% under $1 million, so can I, then go in peace and raise your fees accordingly. If, however, your head trash has you thinking some version of, well, that might work for Matthew, but it will never work for me, don't worry. Raising your fees is still within reach.
I hope you've enjoyed this snippet from Deliver Massive Value, the Financial Advisor's Guide. If you want to listen to the rest of the book, you can go to Amazon.com to buy the Audible, or you can visit my website, MatthewJarvis.com, to download the first 2 chapters as a PDF, to buy the paperback version, which I'd be glad to sign for you, or to download a PDF version of the entire book. So that's MatthewJarvis.com or Amazon.com if you want the Kindle or Audible version. Happy planning.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife.